Who are you living for? Ask yourself that right now and do not look away. Who holds the least to your mind? Because you woke up this morning and before your feet even touched the cold floor, you grabbed your phone. You handed the first, most vital moments of your day over to strangers. You scroll through a screen, staring at the curated lives of people who do not even know your name. Society sells you a beautiful lie. They tell you that staying constantly connected makes you a good person. They say being dialed into the drama, the opinions, and the endless noise of the crowd makes you informed and relevant. It is a lie. It does not make you relevant. It makes you a slave. You have been tricked into taking the spectator seat in your own existence. You are watching other people build their empires, watching other people get stronger, watching other people win, while your own potential rots on the sidelines. Look at your life right now. Are you where you want to be? Or are you standing completely still, paralyzed by the fear of what they might think of you? The stakes are nothing less than your future. Every minute you spend obsessing over someone else is a minute permanently stolen from your own reality. It is time to wake up. Today, we stop the bleeding. We are going to tear down this weak, reactive mindset piece by piece. We are going to build a mind entirely immune to outside noise. A mind focused so ruthlessly on the work in front of you that failure becomes statistically impossible. Let us establish the first and most critical law of your new reality, the core rule of attention allocation. Your attention is not just a passing thought, it is your lifeblood. It is the raw currency of your existence. You must stop bleeding it out on people and opinions that offer you absolutely nothing in return. Where your focus goes, your reality is built. You must pull your attention back with a violent, unapologetic force. Why do the masses fail at this? Because they fall into the trap of the spectator addiction. It is safe in the stands. It is comfortable to sit back and watch the players on the field take the hits. You scroll, you judge, and you envy. It gives your brain the cheap illusion that you are participating in life, but you are actually doing nothing. This is the silent collapse of a human being. It happens day by day, minute by minute. You trade 10 minutes here to check on someone else's success, 15 minutes there to read a pointless argument between strangers. Over a single year, you have sacrificed entire weeks of your life. You slowly hollow out your ambition because your mental bandwidth is entirely consumed by the irrelevant actions of others. You become a ghost haunting someone else's life while your own house falls into absolute ruin. Think of your attention like this. Imagine you are walking through a blazing, unforgiving desert. You carry one single canteen of water. That water is the only thing keeping your heart beating and your legs moving forward. It represents your time, your focus, and your drive. Now, imagine stopping in the scorching heat, opening that canteen, and pouring your only water into the sand to feed a dead weed in someone else's yard. You are standing there, literally dying of thirst, watering something that does not belong to you. That is exactly what you do every time you obsess over the lives and drama of other people. You are pouring your lifeblood into the dirt. Hear this truth and do not let it go. You are the sum total of what you pay attention to. If you pay attention to garbage, your mind becomes the dump. If you pay attention to discipline and the work in front of you, you become unbreakable. Your execution plan begins today. You are going on a ruthless, complete 24-hour media fast. Open your phone right now and aggressively unfollow, mute, and erase every distraction that does not serve your tangible growth. If a screen makes you feel inadequate, eliminate it. For the next 24 hours, you look at nothing but the mirror and the work on your desk. Reclaim your canteen, starve the distractions, and finally feed your focus. Stop watching them and start building you. Let us move to the second law of your new reality. You need to accept a harsh, completely liberating fact. Nobody is watching you. You are playing to an empty theater. You are walking around carrying this massive, crushing weight on your shoulders, acting as if the entire world is holding its breath, waiting to critique your every move. They are not. The crowd does not care. They never did. Once you fully grasp the absolute indifference of the universe toward your daily choices, you will finally be free to actually live. But the masses fall into a psychological trap. It is called the spotlight effect. You walk into a room and you are convinced every eye is locked onto you. You want to start that new business, you want to get into the gym, or you want to speak your mind, but you freeze. Why? Because you are terrified of the judgment. You say to yourself, what if I fail? What will they say? How will I look? This is the slow, agonizing collapse of your potential. You compromise your ambition to avoid the criticism of a crowd that is entirely in your head. You sit in the shadows, paralyzed, because you believe the spotlight is too bright. But the spotlight does not even exist. You are letting phantom critics dictate the trajectory of your one and only life. You are sacrificing your dreams to appease ghosts. Think about the absurdity of this. You are an extra in a massive, chaotic movie. But you are standing in the background, sweating, panicking, and obsessively rehearsing your movements. You are acting as if you hold the leading role in everyone else's scene. Do you really believe they are looking at you? They are not. They are the leading role in their own scene. They are too busy reading their own lines, stressing over their own mistakes, and fighting their own crippling insecurities to even notice you tripping over yours. Every single person you walk past is completely consumed by their own survival, their own ego, and their own problems. You are terrified of a jury that is not even in the courtroom. Write this truth down and burn it into your memory. The greatest prison you will ever live in is the fear of what other people think. And the ultimate tragedy is that you locked yourself inside, and you are the only one holding the key. You built the walls, you forged the bars, and you are guarding the door. Here is your execution plan. You are going to practice the intentional embarrassment exercise today. I want you to go out into the real world and do one thing that feels slightly awkward. Go to a coffee shop and ask for a ridiculous, completely unjustified discount on a cup of coffee. Go to a crowded sidewalk and stand completely still for 60 seconds while everyone walks past you. Do something that triggers that internal alarm that screams, everyone is looking at me, and then watch what happens. Nothing. People might glance for a half second, and then they will immediately go back to their phones, their worries, and their lives. You must prove to your nervous system through physical, tangible action that the world does not care about you. Shatter the illusion, walk out of the prison, focus on your own steps, because no one else is. Now, listen to me closely as we establish the third law. Measuring your life against another man's highlight reel is not just foolish, it is a form of active, deliberate self-destruction. You have to stop looking sideways. You have to stop weighing your worth on a scale built by someone else's accomplishments. When you measure your behind-the-scenes struggles against the polished, filtered, and heavily edited victories of strangers, you are rigging the game against yourself. You are choosing to lose. It is time to burn that scale entirely. Why do so many get caught in this trap? It is the illusion of the timeline. You are sitting at the bottom of the mountain, staring at a guy planting his flag at the summit, and you suddenly feel like a failure. But you are comparing your chapter 1 to his chapter 20. You do not see the years he spent slipping on the ice, the nights he spent bleeding in the dark, the public failures, the quiet doubts, and the moments he wanted to quit. You only see the shining trophy. Comparing yourself to that end result breeds a deep, toxic bitterness inside you. It feeds envy, and envy is a parasite that eats away your discipline. When you constantly fixate on what others have, your own drive collapses into total paralysis. You start to think, why should I even try if they are already so far ahead? That is a coward's excuse. You are using their success to justify your own stagnation. You are letting their victory become your permission to give up. Think about an Olympic sprinter lined up at the blocks. The gun goes off. The fastest men on the planet are tearing down the track, muscles firing, lungs burning. What happens the exact second a runner turns his head to look sideways at the lane next to him? He loses his footing. He breaks his aerodynamic stride. He sacrifices his speed, and he crashes. The finish line did not move, but his focus did. You are running the sprint of your life right now, but you keep turning your head to see how fast the guy next to you is moving. You are tripping over your own feet because you refuse to look straight ahead. Keep your eyes in your own lane. Anchor this truth deep inside your mind. The only man you are competing against is the man you were yesterday. Everyone else is a ghost. They are phantoms. They do not matter. If you are a fraction better today than you were 24 hours ago, you won. It is that simple, and it is that brutal. Your execution plan for this rule is the daily audit. Tonight, before you close your eyes, you are going to take a physical pen and a piece of paper. You are going to write down exactly what you improved today, not what your coworker achieved, not what some internet celebrity bought. What did you build? Did you read 10 pages of a difficult book? Did you hold your temper when you wanted to scream? Did you push through a grueling workout when you were exhausted? You will document your own micro victories, completely isolated from any external metric. Do this every single night. You need to build a mountain of undeniable proof that you are advancing on your own terms. Stop checking their lane, look at your own feet, plant them firmly, and take the next step. Let us forge the fourth law of your new operating system. This is the shield of absolute silence. You must learn to keep your mouth shut and simply do the work. We live in an era of constant broadcasting. Everyone wants to announce their next big move. Everyone wants the applause before they even step onto the field. Stop broadcasting your intentions. Stop telling the world what you are about to build, what you are about to study, or how you are about to change your life. Your words are cheap. Your execution is everything. You need to pull your plans into the dark and work in absolute, uncompromising silence. Why do you feel this desperate need to tell everyone your goals? Because you are chasing a cheap dopamine hit. You tell your friends you are starting a new business, and they say, "Wow, that is amazing. Good for you." Your brain receives that validation, and it immediately processes it as a victory. The brain literally confuses the act of talking about success with the actual brutal labor of achieving success. What happens next? You lose the hunger. You got the reward without doing the work. This is the trap of premature validation. This is why you have a graveyard of half-finished projects and empty promises. You talked the energy right out of your system. You traded the immense satisfaction of actual completion for a few seconds of hollow praise from people who will forget what you said by tomorrow. You slowly hollow out your own integrity until your word means absolutely nothing, not even to yourself. Think of your ambition like a massive iron steam boiler powering a locomotive. For that engine to move forward, it requires immense, rigidly contained pressure. Heat builds, the water boils, and the steam creates the unstoppable force required to push thousands of tons of steel down the tracks. But what happens if you constantly open the release valves? The steam escapes into thin air. It makes a loud, impressive hissing sound, but the train goes absolutely nowhere. Every time you open your mouth to brag about your future plans, you are pulling the release valve. You are bleeding out the internal pressure required to actually move your life forward. You are trading kinetic energy for useless noise. Listen to me, and listen to me closely. Show them, do not tell them. Let the results make all the noise. People can argue with your plans, they can doubt your ideas, and they can mock your ambitions. But nobody can argue with undeniable, concrete results. A finished product is bulletproof. Your execution plan is immediate and non-negotiable. You are taking a strict 30-day vow of silence regarding your goals. From this exact second forward, you do not speak a single word about what you are going to do. If you are starting a new physical training routine, do not announce it. If you are building a new source of income, keep it completely hidden. You are only allowed to speak about what is already finished. Lock the pressure inside the boiler. Let the pressure build. Let the silence make you profoundly uncomfortable. Channel every ounce of that unreleased energy directly into the work itself. When the 30 days are up, you will not need to tell anyone what you did because they will be staring right at it. Let us establish the fifth law of your new existence. It is time to draw a hard, uncompromising line in the sand, the boundary of displeasure. You must become entirely comfortable with letting people down. Let that sink in. You have to be willing to disappoint them. For too long, you have operated under the cowardly assumption that keeping everyone around you happy is a sign of good character. It is not. It is a sign of weakness. If your primary goal in life is to avoid ruffling feathers, you will never take flight. You must embrace the discomfort of saying no. Why is this so brutally hard for the masses? Because you are infected with the disease to please. You are terrified of conflict. You think that if you say no, they will stop liking you, stop inviting you, stop validating you. So, what do? You say yes to the extra work, yes to the toxic friend, yes to the meaningless event that drains your energy. You dilute your own purpose just to keep the people around you comfortable. This is a quiet, devastating collapse of your identity. You slowly hollow yourself out, giving away pieces of your time, your focus, and your soul, until there is absolutely nothing left of you but a flimsy shell of accommodations. You become everything to everyone else and absolutely nothing to yourself. Think of your life as a sturdy house. You are the deep, concrete foundation holding the entire structure together. That foundation represents your time, your core values, and your physical energy. What happens if you start pulling bricks out of your own foundation to build fences for your neighbors? They have a nice yard? Sure, they are happy, absolutely. But what happens to you? The cracks begin to form. The weight of your own life becomes too heavy to bear, and eventually your roof caves in. You destroy your own home just to build a boundary for someone who would not lift a single finger to pull you out of the rubble. Stop giving away your bricks. Stop compromising your structure to appease the crowd. Lock this truth into your mind. If you are not offending someone, you are not standing for anything. A life lived trying to appease the crowd is a life wasted. You cannot forge iron without heat. And you cannot build a life of immense value without causing a little friction. Your execution plan is the practice of the unapologetic no. Today, someone is going to ask you for something that you do not want to give. It might be a request for your time, a favor you do not have the bandwidth for, or an invitation to a place you do not want to go. You are going to decline it. But here's the critical rule. You will not offer an excuse. You will not invent a lie about being busy. And you absolutely will not apologize. You will look them in the eye, or you will type the message, and you will say, no, I cannot do that. Period. Silence. Let the awkwardness hang in the air. Feel the initial panic in your chest, and then feel the immense, surging power of finally taking your bricks back. Protect your foundation. Let them be mad. You have a life to build. Let us forge the sixth law of your new reality. The discipline of solitude. You must learn to sit in an absolutely empty room with yourself and not flinch. Stop running from your own mind. Most people are terrified of silence. They run from it like a plague. But if you want to build a mind that is bulletproof to the opinions of others, you have to be able to endure your own company. You have to look at the man or woman in the mirror, sit in the quiet, and hold eye contact with your own thoughts without reaching for a cheap distraction. Why do the masses fail here? Because they use the constant, deafening noise of other people to drown out the quiet voice of their own conscience. You know exactly what I'm talking about. The second you are alone, the second your room gets quiet, panic sets in. You immediately reach for the phone in your pocket. You turn on the television just to have background noise. You text a friend you do not even really want to talk to. Why? Because if the room gets completely silent, you are forced to face the reality of your own life. You are forced to confront your unfulfilled potential, your daily excuses, and your own mediocrity. You use the chaos of the crowd as an anesthetic to numb the sharp pain of your own stagnation. The slow, silent collapse of your character happens because you never take the time to audit your own soul. You let the world dictate your thoughts because you are too cowardly to think for yourself. Think about a master musician trying to tune a delicate, priceless, stringed instrument. Can he do it in the middle of a screaming, chaotic rock concert? Can he find the perfect, exact pitch while 1,000 people are shouting directly into his ear? No, he will break the strings trying to match a frequency that does not even belong to him. He has to take that instrument into a completely soundproof room. He has to strike the chord, listen to the isolated vibration, and adjust it in pure silence. Your mind is that instrument. You are trying to tune your entire life in the middle of a screaming digital concert. You will never find your own pitch, your own true frequency, until you step off the stage and walk into a quiet room. Let this truth settle deep into your bones. All of your problems, all of your chronic anxieties, and all of your misplaced comparisons stem from your inability to sit quietly in a room alone. If you cannot master your own solitude, you will forever be a servant to the crowd. Master the silence, and you master yourself. Your execution plan for this rule requires immense discipline. Starting today, you will practice the daily 30-minute isolation. You are going to find a room, shut the door, and sit down in a chair. No phone, no music playing in the background, no television, no laptops, not even a book to distract you. It is just going to be you, a blank pad of paper, and a single pen. You are going to sit in that profound, uncomfortable silence for exactly 30 minutes. Let the anxiety hit you. Let the physical urge to check your notifications scream at you. Deny it. Stare at the wall. Write down whatever raw, unfiltered thoughts come to the surface. Face the internal noise head on. Once you can sit with yourself and not flinch, the external noise of the world will never have the power to control you again. Let us hammer the seventh and final law into place. This is the ultimate internal audit. You must establish your own ruthless, uncompromising standard of excellence, completely independent of societal applause. Stop looking for the crowd to hand you a trophy. Stop waiting for the world to tell you that you are doing a good job. You have to become your own hardest judge and your own final authority. If you are waiting for external permission to feel proud of your work, you have already lost control of your life. Why do so many brilliant minds end up utterly miserable? Because they fall into the trap of seeking the collective pat on the back. You let society dictate what success is supposed to look like. They tell you it is the luxury car in the driveway, the expensive watch on your wrist, or the prestigious corporate title next to your name. So, what do? You grind. You sacrifice your sleep, your health, and your peace of mind to acquire those exact things, but then you get them. You sit in the leather seat of that car, you look at the heavy watch, and a terrifying, cold realization washes over you. You feel absolutely nothing. You feel completely empty. This is the devastating consequence of living for the crowd. You spend decades climbing a massive ladder, exhausting yourself to reach the very top, only to realize the ladder was leaning against the wrong wall. You built a life designed to impress people who do not even care about you, and in the process, you completely abandoned yourself. Think about it like letting a complete stranger write the map for your life. You get in the vehicle, you slam your foot on the gas, and you drive incredibly fast. You are making incredible time. You are shifting gears, passing everyone on the highway, and moving at a breakneck speed. But when you finally stop the engine and step out of the car, you look around and realize you are in a city you absolutely hate. What good is speed if your destination was chosen by someone else? What good is external success if it is not a reality you actually value? You have to take the steering wheel back. You have to tear up their map. Listen to me and let this echo in your mind forever. It does not matter what the world thinks of your work. It only matters if you can look yourself in the mirror at the end of the day and say you gave it absolutely everything. The mirror does not lie. The mirror knows if you cut corners, and the mirror knows if you bled for your purpose. Your execution plan is to define your core values right now. You are going to take a piece of paper and write down the 3 strict, non-negotiable standards by which you will judge yourself from this day until your very last breath. Maybe your standard is uncompromising honesty. Maybe it is completing every single task you start, no matter how hard it gets. Maybe it is unbreakable physical resilience. Whatever they are, lock them in. From this moment forward, this piece of paper is your only judge and jury. When you fail these standards, you punish and correct yourself. When you meet them, you respect yourself. Cut the strings. Stop performing for the crowd. Fire the audience, and finally take control of the script. Imagine the profound, staggering liberation that comes from finally cutting the strings. Think about what your life will look like when you wake up in the morning and the crushing weight of external expectation is completely gone. You do not check your phone to see who approved of your existence. You do not look over your shoulder to see who is clapping. You simply wake up, look in the mirror, and get straight to the brutal, beautiful work of building yourself. That is true freedom. When you completely detach your self-worth from the applause of the crowd, you become incredibly dangerous. You become an unstoppable, kinetic force of nature. Because a person who only looks forward, a person who only competes against their own shadow, cannot be derailed. The momentum you will build when you reclaim all that wasted attention will shock you. It will start small, a quiet victory here, an unbroken boundary there, a moment of comfortable silence in an empty room. But over weeks, months, and years, that micro-momentum will avalanche into a life of uncompromising power. You will look back at the person you were, the person paralyzed by the opinions of ghosts, and you will not even recognize them. But let me be absolutely clear with you. Nodding your head at this video changes absolutely nothing in your physical reality. The world is full of people who agree with the truth but are too cowardly to act on it. Do not be one of them. Do not tell yourself you will start implementing these rules next Monday, or when things calm down, or when the time is perfectly right. Tomorrow is the most destructive lie ever invented. Tomorrow is the absolute graveyard of human potential. The work begins right now, the exact second the screen goes black. Close the app, shut out the noise, stop obsessing over them, and ruthlessly focus on you. Start today, not tomorrow.